We have some new figures that paint a troubling picture for Canada's workforce. New numbers from Statistics Canada show that the economy lost 66,000 jobs in August, pushing the national unemployment rate up to 7.1%. Most of those losses hit workers aged 25 to 54, while employment for younger Canadians stayed mostly the same. And this wasn't what economists were expecting. A poll ahead of the release predicted a small gain in jobs and only a slight rise in the unemployment rate to 7%. Joining me now is economist Dr. Moshe Lander to break this down. Dr. Lander, thank you so much for the time today.
Hello.
Now, what is your reaction to the GDP numbers recently released? And is this just a predictable path given the trade war?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. At some point, those tariffs have to inflict damage on an economy. And so, in the first couple of months where we saw that GDP grew, it was probably more that we were trying to front load things ahead of the tariffs. But especially after the front loading is done, it's the damage that's left in its wake. And so we've now seen that GDP declined in the second quarter. The jobs report that you just cited a minute ago is the flip side of that coin. And we're also going to see that inflation probably in the near future is going to start to rise a little uncomfortably high as well. Maybe not to what we saw in the post-pandemic sort of numbers, but I think the 1 to 3% is going to start to become a little bit more difficult to achieve.
And is Canada destined for a recession? And just how bad could this get?
Yeah, the thing with a recession is two consecutive quarters of declining GDP is the technical definition. I don't like the kids' use of the word "me-cession" and that made-up word, but the concept at least is the right idea. If you don't have a job and your friends don't have jobs and your family don't have jobs, it really doesn't matter if I'm telling you that the economy is growing. They're going to look around themselves and say, "Well, I don't see it." And I think that's what a lot of people are feeling right now is that cost of living and affordability has become such a real problem that when you start to hear over top of it that GDP is declining, unemployment is rising, inflation is uncomfortably high, interest rates are not as low as they could be, debt is overstretched. Hey, listen, I can tell you we do or don't have a recession. I think a lot of people are going to say it certainly feels that way, though.
And for the Bank of Canada, many are claiming that they'll have to lower their rates. Do you agree with this?
Have to, I don't agree with. They will lower their rates, though, because there's now scope to lower it. I think that the tension that they were dealing with was, on the one hand, when the economy was growing and unemployment wasn't rising, there was no compelling reason to do so. But now that those two things have gone out the window, there's open space then for them to cut the rates. The thing is that they have 3 meetings left this year. At least one of them will be a cut, maybe two. But I think at some point they're going to realize that they're up against the bottom end of how low they can lower rates before going back into that unconventional monetary policy that we saw during COVID.
Well, Dr. Lander, thank you so much for breaking that down for us.
Anytime.